For decades, the standard advice for learning has relied on a single model of human attention. We treat focus like a broad, sweeping spotlight that you can consciously aim at a textbook, powered entirely by how important the material is. But the numbers tell a different story. Right now, 60% of autistic students perform below their predicted academic achievement based on their IQ scores. The traditional spotlight model is failing millions of highly intelligent people. The problem is an error in basic assumptions. Neurodivergent learners do not lack discipline, and they do not have broken brains. Instead, they are running on entirely distinct neurological operating systems, functioning with completely different rules for their motivation and focus. This image of wooden blocks turning to the DSM-5 highlights how recently the medical community recognized this overlap. Dual diagnosis wasn't even permitted until 2013. Telling a neurodivergent learner to use standard study hacks is the biological equivalent of running Mac software on a PC. When the system crashes, the computer isn't broken. You're just using the wrong code. Let's look at the first alternative architecture, ADHD. It is an executive function disorder, meaning it impacts the brain's management system. Instead of an importance-based nervous system, the ADHD brain is interest-based. This PET scan reveals the underlying chemistry. ADHD brains show decreased dopamine receptors in reward pathways, naturally producing less chemical to initiate tasks. To flood that pathway, the environment must provide specific triggers: passion, interest, novelty, challenge, or hurry. When those specific triggers are absent, the learner experiences severe impairments in serial and temporal reordering, the cognitive ability to hold, organize, and sequence information over time. The brain literally cannot organize the steps to start a boring task. For the ADHD architecture, motivation is a physical neurochemical threshold. You have to engineer the environment to spark the engine. The autistic attention architecture operates on a model called monotropism. Instead of a broad spotlight, attention functions as a deep, intense tunnel. It concentrates processing resources and plunges deep into a single narrow channel. This explains why standard classroom demands like forced multitasking are so exhausting. Shifting context requires wrenching heavily allocated attention out of one deep channel and forcing it into another, physically draining the learner's cognitive reserves. But when environments minimize disruptions, autistic individuals enter a profound flow state. This tunneling effect produces exceptional attention to detail and hyper-systemizing, a brilliant capacity to detect complex patterns and build rule-based systems. The autistic learning superpower is depth over breadth. Forcing them to rapidly switch subjects destroys the precise conditions required for their specific genius to emerge. Then we have AuDHD, the co-occurrence of both conditions. Recent 2025 neuroimaging confirms this is a distinct third neurological profile with its own unique brain structure and connectivity patterns. AuDHD introduces a harsh central paradox. The autistic side of the brain craves predictable structure and sameness, while the ADHD side demands chaotic novelty and stimulation. The two forces are constantly negotiating. To survive in standard educational settings, these individuals have to suppress these conflicting traits. This masking burden creates a multiplicative cognitive drain. Because of this constant internal negotiation and sensory management, AuDHD learners often deplete their cognitive energy before they even open a book. Standard educational accommodations rarely fix these mismatches. A review of 21 studies found that giving ADHD students extended test time, the most common accommodation, often yields zero significant improvement in their scores. The solution is active environmental engineering. You have to build external scaffolding at the exact point of performance, putting clocks, visual timers, and step-by-step alarms directly in the physical workspace. Another powerful external strategy is body doubling, working quietly alongside another person. Social presence artificially stimulates the dopamine pathways, maintaining focus when internal regulation fails. The objective is to stop giving a mismatched brain more time to struggle and start actively outsourcing the exact executive functions the prefrontal cortex, the brain's planning center, struggles to provide. For the AuDHD paradox, the best strategy is building flexible rituals. You design a rigid structural container for your daily routine. but you constantly change the specific details inside that container to satisfy the brain's need for novelty. This photo shows Dr. Temple Grandin, who leveraged her deep autistic special interest in animal behavior to completely redesign livestock industry practices. Using special interests as a bridge to master complex material is the most reliable way to accelerate specialized careers. Today, purpose-built technology and AI tools act as digital cognitive prosthetics. They automatically break down complex tasks and manage scheduling, preserving the user's energy for actual learning. The ultimate systemic fix is Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. This is an educational framework that proactively offers multiple ways to engage with material, like written transcripts alongside video lectures, designing the environment for all brain types from day one. The neurodivergent learning revolution leaves the try harder myth behind. Success happens when you can finally stop fighting your own biology and work with your specific neurological architecture. Because the truth is, there was never just one right way to learn.